Welcome to the bottom of the rabbit hole. Salute to all the yellow-pilled subscribers tuning in. You are appreciated. In this video, we are going to discuss the Animatrix episode Matriculated. Spoilers will absolutely be required. And if this is your first time down here, or you simply want to know everything about the Matrix universe, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you do not miss out on any future content. Matriculated is the 9th and final episode of the Animatrix. I've already shared a lot of details about the Second Renaissance, which are the two most important episodes in the Animatrix, during the B166ER trial video here on this channel. I also talked a lot about the first episode, The Last Flight of the Osiris, in the Matrix HoverCrafts video featuring Captain Soren. I'll leave links in the description for anyone who needs to get caught up. Matriculated is probably my favorite Animatrix episode, mostly because it is abstract and perhaps the most demanding of the audience, but also because the episode was created by Peter Chung, who also created Aeon Flux, which originally aired on Liquid TV. He developed the Aeon Flux character while he was still working as an animator on Rugrats. Prior to that, he has an art direction credit for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and was a storyboard artist for the Transformers series and the original Transformers animated movie. Suffice it to say, I had been a fan of his work for a very long time. During an IGN interview, he was asked how he got involved with the Animatrix. Chung said, quote, "I first heard about the project in April 2001. My friends at Madhouse Studios told me that they were making a couple of short films based in the Matrix universe. It sounded like the coolest project going on at the time, and I wanted to do one of those episodes if I could. I called a producer at Warner Brothers Animation who told me that I was too late, that all the directors had already been selected and production had already begun. I was disappointed and tried to forget about it. A couple of months later, he called me back and said that one of the original directors had left the project and that the Wachowskis wanted to see me. It turned out that I'd been considered from the beginning, but they just had no way of contacting me. It was a case of knowing the right person at the right time and making one crucial phone call. Chung came into the process late. The Wachowskis had already achieved a lot of what they were after in the Animatrix project with the earlier directors. Being the last director signed on allowed Chung to do a lot of what he wanted. The disadvantage was that he did not have a lot of time. Fortunately, the combination of hand drawing and 3D rendering technology made meeting deadlines possible. When asked how he came up with the story for Matriculated, he said, quote, "I pitched several ideas during my meeting with the Wachowskis. The main one consisted of a minimalist psychodrama staged in the limbo space of the construct. Larry told me they wanted to see action. After the meeting, I started looking at the comic stories from the Matrix website and the storyboards of the other Animatrix episodes. I wanted to know what kind of subjects had already been portrayed, mostly so I'd know what to avoid doing myself. Since we only had the first movie to work off of, there was the risk of these episodes all covering the same ground. I mean, how many variations can you do on the story of someone suspecting that he's living in a simulation, then waking up? I decided to take a radically different approach and view the world from the point of view of the machines. After all, a robot would be more susceptible to delusion than a human. Also, I wanted to show that the human mind is just as capable of creating a rich and seductive dream world as a computer is." Chung pitched the Wachowskis that just like in the original Matrix, humans are immersed in an artificial world created by machines. What if the machines were placed in a world created by humans? So in its own way, Matriculated is the anti-Matrix or a reverse Matrix. The episode starts with the human character named Alexa looking over a large body of water. Then the monkey spots two sentinel-like machines, referred to as runners, approaching from the water. At this point, Alexa begins to lure the machines into the lab so that they can be captured. Now what is interesting to notice here is that the monkey is jacked into a closed circuit network, and the operator in the lab can watch what the monkey sees on screen while it is connected. When asked about the monkey, Chung said, quote, "The tarsier was originally an element from my construct story which got carried over to Matriculated. It was supposed to be a source of energy for the humans, similar to the way the machines use the humans as batteries. I always thought the idea in the Matrix that humans could be used as an energy source was pretty absurd, so I abandoned that and made the tarsier, which is a nocturnal animal with powerful night vision, into a kind of living camera lens. My reasoning was that in a world where there is no sunlight, creatures who could see in the dark might thrive. The tarsier is an element of simple animal existence, which provides a clear contrast between the machines and living things. It's significant that the humans accord an equal status to the tarsier as they do to the other humans in their group." End quote. These tiny primates are native to Southeast Asia, specifically the Philippines, Malaysia, and Indonesia. We also know that 01 is somewhere in the Middle East, most likely Saudi Arabia, which could suggest that the large body of water that the runners were swimming in was the Indian Ocean. Another thing worth noting is that while luring the machines into the lab, Alexa runs by a crashed hovercraft. None of the humans in this story mention Zion, nor do they have any arm jacks. Like the monkey, they only have head jacks, which might suggest that this story takes place during an earlier version of the Matrix. The variety of machine models could also suggest that the story took place before humans inhabited Zion. When the machines realize there are more humans inside the compound, they drop a beacon for reinforcements and proceed to follow Alexa inside. There, the runners are ambushed by a machine that has already been converted to protect humans, and the surviving runner is then captured. The Wachowskis had a strict rule that the robots could not have a human face or have any human anatomy in the real world. Chung spent months designing and redesigning the robot's look to find the balance of menace and innocence that he wanted. The runners also went from swimmers to chasing Alexa on land, then transformed into an attack mode when approached by the converted machine. So I noticed there is a hint of Chung's transformer roots within the runner's final design. Once the runner is captured, the scientist claims it is the smartest that he'd seen. Alexa asks if the machine will convert, to which he replies, "To convert is its choice to make. We can't make slaves of them." Alexa then expresses her concerns about the conversion process being revealed as a construct that the humans made up in their head. Every night when we dream, we immerse ourselves in an artificial world of our own making, and they are very convincing. What if a machine could be put inside a human dream? The humans jack into the construct with the captured machine to create a wild and colorful world that is as unpredictable as a dream. Inside the construct, the machine experiences some human emotions, and the goal is for the AI to develop its own free will, to override its search and destroy programming. What I never see anyone mention about this conversion sequence, though, is that just before he is given a human-like avatar in the construct, the runner is first stripped of his machine likeness. It is shown to him in the representation of a serpent that transforms into a virus-like substance in the construct that at one point drowns him, and Alexa's avatar in the construct then saves him, whisking him away from the darkness and into the golden light. The subtext here is very heavy, and the brilliance of it all is that Peter Chung made this piece before seeing Reloaded in Revolutions. At that point, alarms go off as the reinforcement sentinels storm the compound and attack the group. When the runner comes to in the real world, you should notice that his eyes change from red to green, which means that the machine has converted to seeing humans as allies. You should also notice the green eyes of the machine that carries away Neo's body at the end of the trilogy in Revolutions. I mentioned this specific Easter egg earlier in the many machines of the Matrix video here on this channel. The humans and converted machines in Matriculated battled with the Sentinels, but the converted runner was too late. He destroyed the last remaining Sentinel that was carrying a captured and injured Alexa. The runner jacks himself and Alexa back into the construct, but once she realizes that she is jacked into the simulation with the machine, she screams and then passes away, leaving the converted runner all alone. And the final shot has the machine looking out onto the water in the same spot that Alexa was at the beginning of the episode. Peter Chung wanted to create not just a robot, but rather a non-linear character mind that was robotic. Chung saw the runner as innocent, and by the end, he hoped the audience would feel a little bit of empathy for it. The themes presented in Matriculated are one of the reasons why I suggest first-time viewers of the trilogy watch the Animatrix before moving on to Reloaded and Revolutions. I feel like it gives the audience an introduction to the ideas that the relationship between man and machine isn't quite as simple as people are good, robots are bad, preparing them for the complex dynamic that is later presented in the other sequels. Regardless of what order you watch it in, if you haven't already, I strongly encourage you to watch the Animatrix for yourself. If you enjoy this kind of content, be sure to share it on other platforms like Facebook, Reddit, Twitter, and remember, as one realizes that one is a dream figure in another person's dream, that is self-awareness.